Less than a month from now, a triple murder trial is set to begin for Lori Vallow. She is the so-called doomsday mom who, alongside her fifth husband, is charged with killing two of her children, ages 16 and 7, as well as her husband's former wife. It is a very, very bizarre case that involves a religious cult, insurance fraud, belief in zombies. But at the center, the needless deaths of several people, including Lori Vallow's innocent children, 16-year-old Tylee and 7-year-old JJ. I want to welcome Fil Waters to the show. He is a retired Houston, Texas homicide detective who has worked hundreds of murder cases. Phil, these poor kids, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, just 16 and 7 years old, missing for nearly a year. Investigators found their remains in those shallow graves in a place where pets were buried. I'm just wondering, like, as a detective, obviously you must feel some relief when you make a discovery like that, but at the same time, it's got to just be tragic knowing, I mean, you found what you're looking for, but knowing that then you're then going to have to, tell the family members.
Well, Brian, it's good to be with you. Yes, I've always described this type of thing as a double-edged sword. You're in this investigation, you're trying to find the children. Sometimes they're babies, they're infants, and that's the first priority. And then once you do find them in whatever state they are in, I had a case where we were trying to find a 2-month-old baby. Turns out that he'd been buried alive by his mother, and she, after several hours, decided to take me to that location, that scene. And I just remember the dig with the crime scene units. We saw the back of his little head. And at that moment, it is relief that we have found him. But then the moment is so somber that we found him in the state that he was in, that it's one of those things that I've said this before to my colleagues, that I only think we've got a certain number of those types of cases in us.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And the reason we continue to cover this every night is because we're gearing up now for the trial, which is set to start in about a month or so for the doomsday mom. And it's just such a tragic case, and we're all trying to refresh our memories to get ready for this trial that we're going to be covering very closely. What's going on behind the scenes when you're an investigator that's worked a case like this and you've got a trial coming up, in a month? Are you refreshing your notes? Are you working with the prosecutor? What sort of police work is still happening behind the scenes?
Well, this is going to be now, they're going to be in a pretrial mode, and they're going to have pretrial conferences with the prosecutors. And that's exactly what I've done, what I know that they're doing. The detectives involved are going to be reviewing their supplements. They're going to be reviewing specifically the testimony that they're going to provide, and the prosecutors are going to be coordinating with them. These are the questions we're going to ask, and how many detectives they put are going to be asked a certain amount of questions related to their participation in the investigation. So there'll be a lot of preparation, especially for an investigation and a prosecution that has become this complicated.
And the children's remains in this case have yet to be released to the family. The grandparents obviously want to bury them, give them a proper funeral, have that little bit of closure. Is that unusual that the remains still haven't been released? I mean, I know we've still got the trial, but in most cases, wouldn't remains have been released by now?
You would think so. There may be a reason. I would hope to think that there is a reason, some sort of an evidentiary reason that these things are, the bodies are not being, or the remains are not being released to the parents. So that may be revealed yet in the trial.
How does it change things when a murder suspect is actually the victim's mother or father? I mean, do you still proceed with the investigation in the same way, or is it totally different?
I don't know that, I'll speak for myself. I don't know that I looked at it differently in the process. It was always, because I can relate to that in a personal way. I have 3 grown children. I have 9 grandchildren, and it always struck me that a parent, the person that is supposed to be protecting their children, is a participant in ending their lives. And so that always struck me. And it was a part of compartmentalizing that aspect of the investigation to move forward and to get to the evidence that we needed to get to that lead us to the truth about what happened to these children. But it is disturbing. I mean, we in Houston, we had the Andrea Yates case where she drowned her 5 children in the bathtub, and I participated in the interview of Andrea Yates, monitored it, and so it's very it's telling to sit there and watch the interview and this person explaining why they did what they did. It is an interesting dynamic when it's involving children and their parents.
What I find so interesting about this case in particular is we always hear, the first 48 hours are so important, but they actually discovered these bodies after a year. And I was even thinking of the Murdaugh case, which we've been covering so closely. They're possibly exhuming the housekeeper's body to investigate that. I guess it is possible that these things can come together even a long time later.
Oh, sure. And the guest you had on there, the BTK's daughter, killer's daughter, and that was over an extended period of time that, bodies, the Green River killer. I mean, you look at these serial killers and bodies start to pop up. A couple of hunters are walking through the woods and they kick over a skull, that kind of thing. So we have to remember that in terms of the evidentiary value, the bodies are there. And unless, in this case, if they were to go back and move them, I guess this guy's been reading Stephen King. So he buries the bodies in the pet cemetery, and presuming that they're not going to be found. And if they are found, maybe he's thinking that, well, they'll get them mixed up with the bones of the animals that are there and blah, blah, blah. So it is, so they're there, they're preserved. So they're waiting to be found. And so 8 months later, I think it was, the results of due diligence in the investigation, the detectives are able to get a search warrant. They go in and they do find the bodies.
Yeah, it's amazing that they were able to do that. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.